Guys, welcome back to It's Just Another Shilling. I am Teresa, and today we have a fun treat for you. We are at the apple orchard. That's right. We are picking apples. I have a couple different recipes I want to try, an apple tart and some applesauce. I have some kids here with me picking the apples. I'll show you some video of that. Yeah, let's get started. When I was a little girl, my grandparents used to take us on camping trips with them. Now at these camping trips, we would go to a campground that had an apple tree in, near the play area. And what we would do is we would pick the apples and then bring them to my grandfather, who would sit there and watch Jeopardy and peel the apples. He would use a knife and get just the skin off, and I was always so impressed by that. And then take all of the apples, cut them into little pieces, and give them to my Beppa, who would then in turn take all the apple pieces, put them in her crock pot, pour about a bag of sugar on them, and let them cook into the most delicious sauce that I've ever had in my whole entire life. When I was about 15, my Beppa was there, and I actually asked her if she could show me how to make her applesauce. And she said of course she would. She said the first thing I needed to do was go to my paca and get this knife, the one I'm using right here, and peel the apples. And although I'm not perfect at it, I'm actually better than most when it comes to peeling apples. And I just love that I get to pass this tradition on of using this knife to get just the skin off, to peel the apples so that I can make applesauce for my family. What could be better than that? So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm going to peel, I would say actually about that bowl right there. I'm going to fill it completely up with apples, get them all nice and peely. I might do a couple more. If you were not apple picking, it would probably be right around a bag or a bag and a half of apples. But I'm going to go ahead and get these peeled and then move on to the next step. Here's where I should probably let you know that it is easier to peel the apples with an apple peeler. But there's just something sentimental about doing it this way. I don't have my paca anymore, but I definitely have some of his kitchen tools, and so I'm going to use them for as long as I possibly can. So yeah, you can do as I did at the beginning where I had that apple peeler and go ahead and peel the apples that way. It works just as well. Just do it however it's easiest. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my core. I got this one at IKEA. I really enjoy it. It does a phenomenal job I've had this specific one for probably about 5 years. It's still very, very sharp. It still does exactly what I want it to do. My kids can use it. They like it just as well. And it cuts a good sized piece. Now I know my Papa wouldn't do it this way. He'd actually cut the apple into quarters, get the core out, and then chop each piece individually into the bowl. But let's be real, I'm a busy working mom of 4. That doesn't always happen that way. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these apples cut up. I'm taking off that little last piece of skin. If there's a little piece of skin in there, I'm going to go in and I'm going to take out those seeds, or the little seed pods if those are in there, and just get these apples cut up and then into the crock pot. So here's my crock pot. I'm going to go ahead and get all the apples into there and get it nice and full. You'll see here in a second that I'm going to not put a whole entire bag of sugar in there, but instead I'm actually only putting a 1/4 cup of monk fruit sugar in there. I'm trying something a little bit different. Wanted to see how it would taste. It was actually really, really good. And it's a lot better for you. It doesn't raise your glycemic index, so why not? Just to show you how full this crock pot is, let me show you an angle of it before I put the lid on. Yeah, it's pretty overflowing, and you're going to see that you need that much. This is probably about 4 hours into the cooking, and it's gotten softer. Over here I add about 2 cups of water just to give it a little bit more moisture. I noticed it was a little on the dry side when I went to mix it. So we're going to give it a little bit of moisture so that it can just be a little bit better, and then let it cook to its heart's content. You'll know if you need to add water into your applesauce. This you can just see by stirring it. It's not really doing much of anything. That water, you need it to get those apples cooking a little bit more. If you leave it like this, it's actually going to be a little bit on the dry side when you eat it. More like an apple pie filling and less like a sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and get that water in there right now. Now the very, very important secret to my Beppa's applesauce is to not touch it. It's the hardest thing to do. Don't stir the applesauce. This, believe it or not, almost 12 hours later, I went back to it. I went to work and came home, and this is what it looks like. Now you see me stirring it right here, and that's literally just to make sure that it's not burnt on the edges. But I'm not stirring it too much. The more you stir it, the less chunky it is, and I want my applesauce chunky. So here you have it, applesauce. The applesauce cup that is on your left is actually the way that my grandmother used to serve it to us. She would put it over vanilla ice cream when it was warm, or she would actually take vanilla pudding and put it over that and serve it that way. I just had to take the time and show my kids something new and something delicious and something super duper yummy. And yeah, it's really important for me to bring these traditions onto my family. We need it. We need to know what people before us did and how they did it and all those kinds of things. And I have no problem teaching them all these new really cool things, especially if it means that I get to introduce them into a little bit of the world of my Paka and my Beppa. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. it was actually a really fun video to make. We had so much fun at the apple farm. We can't wait to go back for their Halloween festivities and their fall stuff. Yeah. What do you guys think? What do you think I should make next with the apples? I was thinking apple almond tart, or oh, maybe some apple muffins. Yeah, let me know. And please guys, remember to like, subscribe, and share my videos. I missed my goal by about 35 people for my 100 by the end of August. Help me, please. Let me get to 100 by the end of next month. It'd be really cool to be at 1,000 by the end of the year, but I can only do it with your help. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.